Decommissioning a large diameter bored well in Saskatchewan. Groundwater from wells is an integral source of water in the agricultural sector. Saskatchewan has about 60,000 water wells providing water for municipalities, agriculture, industry, and domestic needs. As with any natural resource, groundwater supplies are not unlimited. They must be wisely managed and protected against overuse and contamination. Decommissioning abandoned wells is an important action to protecting the groundwater resources. Wells can provide a direct pathway from the surface to the aquifer, which may result in groundwater contamination. When a well is no longer in use and is not being properly maintained, the risk of contamination from the surface increases. Once a water supply is contaminated, remediation is costly and time-consuming and is never completely effective. In addition, there is often only one aquifer in a given area that is suitable for development. This may limit a landowner's options for securing a safe water supply once contamination has occurred. Large diameter abandoned wells also pose a significant threat to public safety, as people, animals, and farm machinery have been known to fall into them. Abandoned or improperly decommissioned wells can also affect property values and impede a real estate transaction. As a landowner with an abandoned well, you are responsible for the proper decommissioning of that well. Saskatchewan's groundwater regulations state where the well is no longer in use and is abandoned, the owner shall cause the well to be properly closed in a manner sufficient to prevent the vertical movement of water in it. Now let's begin with the process and procedure to properly decommission a large diameter bored well. There are four main things to do before decommissioning a well. 1. Remove outbuildings and/or pump houses that may cover the abandoned well. Removing debris or clutter around the work site is also a helpful safety measure. 2. Gather as much information about the well as possible. Most of the needed information can be obtained from the Saskatchewan Water Security Agency database of drillers' reports. These reports have valuable information about the well's construction and local geologic conditions, such as the depth of the well, what type of casing was used, the number and type of intake screens which were installed, and so on. This is valuable information when you are developing your plan to decommission the well. 3. Verify the information and examine the well. First, measure the diameter of the well's casing and the casing's height above the ground. If possible, measure the depth of the well and the depth of any remaining water in the well. 4. Determine what materials you will need to fill and seal the well, and have them ready at the job site. You will need bentonite, clean sand or gravel, clay, and chlorine. A well decommissioning worksheet available on the Water Security Agency website is a helpful tool in determining the appropriate amount of materials needed for your project. Now let's move on to the procedure to decommission a large diameter bored well. 1. Disconnect the power and remove all equipment from the well. 2. Disinfect the well by adding the volume of chlorine determined from the decommissioning worksheet to bring the water present in the well to a chlorine concentration of 250 milligrams per liter. 3. Pour the number of bags of bentonite chips or pellets, as determined by the decommissioning worksheet, into the casing to form a 1-foot thick seal at the bottom of the well. The bentonite should be added slowly and evenly. 4. Backfill the well casing with clean granular material such as sand or gravel. Make sure the material is free of silt and fine material. If possible, tamp down the fill material. The casing should be backfilled to a depth of 10 feet below the ground surface. Number 5. In the event there is no water well driller's report, additional bentonite seals should be installed at 20-foot intervals. 6. Remove the remaining portion of the casing to approximately the top 10 feet. 7. Install another 1-foot thick bentonite seal. It is important that this seal extend approximately 1 foot beyond the outer edges of the casing to seal the top of the borehole. Be prepared to pour in clean water to hydrate the bentonite if there is insufficient water present. 8. Backfill the excavation with clean impervious material such as clay. The backfill material should be compacted at 1-foot intervals. The area should be backfilled beyond the outer extent of the wall annulus. The area over the well should be built up by 12 to 24 inches to allow for settling and adequate drainage away from the area. The landowner themselves or a hired contractor may undertake the large diameter bored well decommissioning project. Protecting groundwater is a shared responsibility. We should all do our part to protect this valuable resource for generations to come. This video was prepared in partnership with Water Security Agency and the Saskatchewan Ministry of Agriculture.